Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and today we're taking a look at some spy photos of what appears to be the new giant Propel, or that's what at least everyone is talking about. This is on a pro cyclist Tony Martin's Instagram page. He's riding for Giant, and as you can see here, we have a bunch of photos of here what appears to be a giant road bicycle with cables tucked internally, and with a bike to appear to be with a different cockpit than what the old Propel was. Me personally, I don't think that the old Propel looked great at all. I hated the look of his stem. It was very bulky. The cables went up and over the stem. I was not a big fan of the bike at all. But everyone's kind of saying that this is a new Propel. I work in the industry of selling bikes, and I've been around for a long time. I also know a lot of Giant dealers as well. I have a feeling that Giant is going to follow suit of what Specialized did. And here's why I think that. So follow me here, because what Specialized did is they took their flagship bike like the Tarmac and their flagship bike like the Venge, which was their more aerodynamic bike, and they merged them into one and just made one nice bike, which was their one bike to rule them all, which they made the climbing bike into an aero bike. So they basically took, like, for example, the TCR, and they merged it with the Propel, and they gave it pretty much aero qualities. So first look at this bike with Tony Martin on here. We can see here that, let's see if this works, it has very similar features or similar qualities to the Giant TCR. It has the ISP, which the Propel did not. So it has new integrated seat posts, which I'm not a big fan of either on there. I hear a lot of people have issues with those kind of going back and forth, rocking over time, whatever it is, but that's Giant's kind of way of lightening up the bike. Two, we can see here they slimmed down this down tube part. It does not look at all like the Propel. The Propel has very aggressive, very chunky looking carbon fiber on here. You can see the wheel tuck in there, the massive seat post, the massive frame, the massive down tube. This is very similar, but this right here, no. This right here, no. So I don't think they're going the route of making a Propel and a TCR. TCR has only been around for a little bit, but I think it's taken over as their flagship bike compared to the Propel. You see more people wanting the TCR. You see more people riding the TCR. So I got a feeling that they're just kind of going over at this bike. So when you look at this bike side by side, and you look at this bike side by side, let's see if I can do this real quick. It has very similar qualities to the rear stay of this part, the seat posts, and then for the cockpit, it has almost a very similar cockpit of the stem, but they just kind of made it more aero. Very similar to, like, it looks like the Tarmac SL7 stem. I don't know if the cables are ran internally underneath, which it doesn't look like right there. It could be inside the frame, because I don't see any exit ports there. But it could run into the handlebar, into the frame, and down into the top tube, which they do. But it would only make sense. Giant's one of the biggest, I think is the biggest manufacturer out there for carbon frames. I know they do a lot of behind-the-scenes works for other companies as well, which is making frames for other companies, dissecting frames. Back in the day, when we used to sell Giant, I want to say we sold Giant like 12, 13 years ago. We had reps, even big shots over there that will show us like their whole cut down, their frame, their whole workshop where they dissected frames, where literally they had every single company's frame there. And they would take bits and pieces from this company and bits and pieces from this company, and then they would pretty much outsource and make frames for other companies as well. Giant's been around for a long time. They're very plain and simple, but they get the job done. So that's why you see Giant have some of the most competitive prices out there, is because of the fact that they keep it simple, but they know it works. So I got a feeling that's going to be the way it goes, because that bike that I just showed you that Tony Martin was riding looks way more similar to that compared to that. And I don't know if they have anything planned for this right now, but we'll see probably more maybe around when the Tour de France happens. Him riding it. Here we can see a front shot of the stem right here. So what I really do think is I think that it's either going to be a bike together with the Propel and a TCR, or I think it's going to be the new TCR Advance. I don't think it looks like the Propel at all, but we'll have to wait and find out. Again, we can see the stem here. I don't see any cables exposed, so I'm guessing that this cable's going to here. That kind of looks like a integrated bar there of their own kind. And then also right here as well, this is the cockpit photo that we see him riding on the bike. Again, and I mean, maybe we haven't heard any other word of Giant releasing anything on this, but maybe they wanted Tony Martin to ride this thing. I mean, they obviously knew that he would get the buzz around. His Instagram is a nice way of marketing it. You can see none of the other riders around here. They're all riding what seems to be a TCR version of this bike. As we can see right here, look at this one. I'm gonna scroll on this one. This seems to be a TCR cable right there. So they seem to be riding some hilly terrain, some gravel fenders right here. So why would they put them on an aero road bike? It doesn't make any sense. So there's some hills around here. It looks to be like a TCR version of it. So I would have to assume that they're taking these two bikes and merging them together and following suit of Specialized. And I think you're going to see more and more bikes do this because at this point, what Specialized says with the Tarmac 7 is that they pretty much made the bike as close to as aero as possible as the Propel, but then they made it lighter as well. So they said that they took everything that best of both worlds from the bikes with very small details off them, and they made it very well. All right, so you guys let me know. That's gonna wrap up this video. But looking at these two bikes side by side, this is the current generation of the TCR Advanced with the exposed cables, and this is what is the spy photo of the new Giant bike that's not to be named yet. But side by side, these bikes, man, same seat posts, same ISP, very similar seat stays, just lowered a little bit, but similar down post. Down tube is very similar, just a little bit more aggressive. And then also the aggressive head tube area where the cables need to go integrated. The stems look very similar. I mean, the whole bike just looks very similar to it. So let me know down in the comment section below, what do you think the bike is? Do you think it's the new Propel, the new TCR, or do you think Giant's just going to get rid of both the bikes for now and just make one super bike for everyone to be doing? Because people have been craving for the TCR to have exposed cables, and then also people wanted the same kind of lightness of it. So we'll see what happens there. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next one.